Welcome back. We are here for the Between Dancing on Strings, episode 25, finale, part 2. The hunters have survived the assault, have gone through all of the threats, have gone through the aftermath, and have now determined that they are going after La Regina, and they will go and find the Teatro and beard La Regina once and for all, I guess. So, um, yeah, preparations. Like I said, mechanically, whatever unmarked personal quarters items you have, you could take up to three. If it's too large to take with you, then obviously it's like, you would take the thought of it, the memory of it, da da da, and then you would just kind of like highlight it, as something that you could use for while you're over in the teatro. But aside from that, have at it. Um, and yeah, you're gonna go and take on the mastermind. All right. So I believe that the plan was to follow Damon Gray's threads. Who's going? Again, just to clarify, I mean, I think we know who's going, but I think Mari was also going to was going to like lead you while there, um, just to get you around the teatro as needed. Um, but aside from that, I mean, like, we're just making sure everybody's going, yeah? And Prince Rupert was going to watch over Hattie at the house. Prince Rupert, too, sorry. You know, Spider Prince, Spider Cat, as it were. And let me see. I think there was any other things that we wanted to go over before you guys went over to the teatro that I'm forgetting, or that you wanted to try and activate before you left Hargrave House. Again, you have all of the things, you have access to any of the threat moves while you're here, you know? So, this is your chance to do so before you head off into the lion's den.
We need to do any vulnerable scenes.
It's up to you. I
Hmm.
mean, if you
I'm
if you
pretty
feel that you
I'm pretty
need
clear of
to,
conditions, but I'm
last chance.
clear. I'm pretty clear of conditions, but I'm available if anyone needs me.
Have two
Anything?
conditions, but I kind of want to keep them.
Okay. All right. Actually, now you're making me curious because it's like now I need to see like, okay, who's got what now?
Same.
Because
I have two, but I want to keep them, I think.
oh gosh. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see.
And I've got two, one which can't be removed, and the other one we kind of need to follow.
Okay. Let's see. Why am I making this harder for myself? Because that's what I do. God. Okay. My screens are going nuts. Of course, because it's the last hurrah, because that's what it has to do. All right, let's look at everybody's stuff now while we're
Although it
looking
might
at
be
it.
fun to do a vulnerable move with Treasure before we go fight for our lives because of all the antagonism between Marybelle and Treasure, mostly on Marybelle's side.
Uh,
Always on Marybelle's side, completely on her side.
basically, this could be something is set up where, as you're making final preparations, so go ahead,
Yeah, that
whoever
I'd
wants
be
to set
willing
up.
to do that. That's
Sure,
we can
go
do
for
that.
it. Yeah.
Want to do your vice or mine?
Uh, I think we should do yours because I realized uh we have never done Treasure's Vice through the whole game, and I don't want to break that now on the last time.
That's hilarious. Oh, Treasure. Okay, I love that. Yeah, I think you come across Marybelle in maybe a hall or a foyer, and they are trying to get the part of their hands that attach to their doll body, trying to make sure that everything is connected and clean. Marybelle's never had to clean human hands before, aside from the time that they were shown how to wash their hands, I believe. There really hasn't been a lot of other, this is how you take care of human skin. And I think they have a little can of oil that they would normally put on their joints to stop them from squeaking, and trying to rub it into the seam between the hand and the doll arm.
And I think maybe coming around the corner and seeing that Treasure will actually turn on his heel and go back the other way, and return just shortly with a basin of water and a cloth, and just say, might I help you with that, Marybelle?
I'm perfectly capable of managing, and you can tell that they are not, in fact, capable of this. They can't really figure out how to do it.
Oh, yes, I know you're capable, but since it's your hands that are being cleaned, perhaps an extra set of hands would be helpful.
Perhaps. Only because you are offering.
We all
I think I
can
hold
use
my
a little
hands
help
out, like,
sometimes.
awkwardly.
Yeah, and Treasure will just kind of clean them with the cloth. Kind of rub
I
around
understand that
the
these
joint.
are powerful hands. I know that they are Mr. Gray's hands, and he is a powerful man. Yet they don't feel powerful most of the time.
Huh. Yeah, perhaps they belong as much to the entity that Mr. Gray is connected to as they did to him.
Perhaps.
And I fear that entity is not always very cooperative, at least with us.
Do you not... Do you never regret being different? Different from what you were before, when you were powerful? Do you not miss that?
No. I think perhaps I did, but there's another sort of power in being completely oneself. And knowing that one is doing important work.
You are happy with who you are, then?
Yes. Are you?
I am discomfited by still adjusting to my new hands. Otherwise, yes, I'm quite content to be me.
Ah, yes, I would have thought so. That's very much as it should be.
I do
You've
wonder,
always been
though.
yourself.
Thank you. I will accept that as a compliment. I do have to wonder, though, if we could speak plainly, openly, honestly. Do you think Mr. Gray would be better off severed from this entity like you had been from yours?
I
He does not
have
seem to be happy with himself.
I have to imagine that he might be better off, but I'm not sure that's what he would want or intend.
When you were severed from the entity that controlled you, you were not asked what you want. And yet, you were happy that it happened.
Yeah, yes. Mr. Gray saved me.
Hmm.
In every way that matters.
And
But
he is your friend.
yes.
Do we not have a responsibility to help our friends? Even when, perhaps especially when, they do not want our help.
I think we do have a responsibility to help them, but not to take away their agency.
I see. Like how you are helping me clean these hands. But I have the ability to walk away, should I wish.
Yes.
I believe I understand. Thank you, Treasure. I do
You're
believe
very welcome.
you and I could be friends as well.
That would make me very happy, Marybelle. Do you think that the second Prince Rupert might keep an eye on Matthew as well? Just
I'm
to see
quite
that
certain
he.
if you ask him, he would do so.
Ah,
He seems quite
I
capable.
just want to be sure that he's all right. Well, that he'll be all right no matter what happens to us.
Oh. Well, there are two Prince Ruperts. Therefore, one could look after Hattie and one could look after Matthew.
At that point,
Certainly.
you hear like a child's laughter, and then like across the hallway you hear or you see Matthew like chasing after Prince Rupert the First, like the regular cat.
Ah, see? Fast friends.
Yeah, they perhaps they'll keep each other occupied.
Like we hear like a big crash.
Very much.
I feel good about that scene.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good way to end.
Conditions.
I'm hoping to have cleared red herring.
Sure.
Because one, it doesn't really apply anymore.
No.
And two, I feel like Marybelle is on some solid ground right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Better ground for sure. And Treasure?
And I will clear ward worries.
Yes. Perfect. That works. All right. In the meantime, has Daymond been working on figuring out how to trace or follow his threads, with or without Mari's help, back to the Teatro?
Yeah. It's part magic, part jigsaw puzzle solving. The undoing of Christmas lights left in a box for too long, while requiring a keen, supernatural eye to see that there are Christmas lights in the box in the first place. Daymond is perhaps better at finding where the Christmas lights start, and Mari considerably better at untangling them. Mari,
Yes.
while we do this, hands intertwining and all that, a question for you.
Anything.
How did you meet Valentine?
was when the King in Shadows had come into London at the behest of La Regina.
And why is it that you stay with Valentine?
My strings were pulled just as yours were, whether you knew it or not, Daymond. Mother could see I had an affinity for Valentine and wanted to take advantage of it, as she does any advantage.
And what do you plan to do with this? Let's call it attraction.
Let's not mince words, Daymond. You released me from Mother's ties, to say it. I would hope to try and stay with Valentine, but I don't know. I don't know if they want to. If they would want to stay with me. Does that seem too outrageous?
No, it sounds like you are, dare I say it, in love and terrified of losing that which you hold dear.
Perhaps maybe I'm thinking too.
Be selfish.
Could I?
In matters of the heart, you must.
Or maybe I should just make my own way. Free from Mother's shackles. Just figure out what I want.
You can. You certainly can. Or you can see about finding Valentine at the end of that journey. I know for a fact that no matter the time or place that you desire, Valentine will be there. They have a nasty habit of it.
I fear that perhaps maybe their attentions are also split between me and others. So maybe it's too much to hope for.
But hope you must. At the very least, tell Valentine what you've told me. Not in such blunt words. The language of the flowers, of the fae, of the floaty things around you, and I'll gesture at some of the threads that we've been pulling at. There is magic in the simple words, in the ritual behind simply speaking your mind.
Daymond, are you trying to be a matchmaker?
Not so much for your sake, but for Valentine's. She is such a complexity that I don't feel that I've rightfully been able to help. Marybelle's been easy, simply teaching them about being human. And I suppose giving them a hand or two. Treasure quite simply asked, outright demanded and asked. Apparently. But Valentine has not taken advantage of what I can offer. And if they will not take the incredible that I can do, then they must take the mundane. And while you, my dear, are not mundane, in the grand scheme of things, matters of the heart are extraordinary.
Daymond, can I tell you something that I fear may be the last terrible secret?
Of course.
I don't know if I'm actually real.
Does this seem like a dream to you? Losing moments of yourself?
Do you know what Mari is short for? And her face crumples as she...
I would assume Marissa?
It is actually pronounced incorrectly. I think it is actually Mary, as in marionette. Which is why she had strings on me. Can you tell me? Daymond.
Well, there's one way to find out.
How?
We can see when you were born, or as you fear, created. It will not be pretty. It may reveal things that you fear. We can.
Who would see them? You?
I would have to. You would be along for that journey. If you'd like, we can see if Valentine would be interested, or keep them far away.
No. I want to be honest.
But do you want to be honest to what your heart tells you, or to the truth? Those two may be in conflict.
The truth. The truth will let them decide. It's always a choice, right?
It is always a choice. And I would like to do rites of salt and smoke, pulling on both my strings and Mari's strings to observe when she was born or created.
Yep. Yeah. Totally do that. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Do you have any problems? Do you have any
Conditions? Oh, the one called pull of the strings? Oh, I don't think that one comes into play. No, it definitely does.
But you know what? I mean, I'm still gonna pull like, I mean, it's still gonna be most beloved because
Oh yeah.
you're still connected.
Oh
Everything's
yeah.
after you. So, disadvantage, please.
It was not going to be one of the 3 items I bring, but I do have some tea leaves, a divination tool.
Lovely.
We are, in fact, divining.
Yes. We'll take it. Straight roll, sensitivity.
That 9 to 12? Yeah,
Wow.
that's how math works.
Beautiful. All right. If you don't mind, um, Rob, I think this is where this is such a good role. I think it's like, you actually get pulled into the scene too. I think it's basically where it's like, the magic of what Daymond is doing, and Daymond, I want you to describe it. I think it's like, you are pulling into the scene where not only Mary is not only there, but I mean, like, because she's thinking so hard on revealing the truth to Val is being pulled into the scene too, unable to see it, you know. But like, tell us how, you are divining and going back into, maybe it's even like, it's even better than that, because again, like using like time travel, like tying into Val's powers as well. It's like it's also giving it that kind of a boost as well for your occult ability. Who put in that emoji?
For those of you unaware, the comment in the chat says the magic of love, and someone whose name starts with a V may have reacted with a less than favorable emote.
People. Anyway.
Rob, stop me at any moment if the description gets too ooey gooey. But
It's all good. I trust you.
oh, I don't. The threads that pull out of Daymond aren't from the wrist as they usually are. They aren't from the face or the chest. The first string that he grabs is a heartstring. The second string he grabs is one of Mari's. The third string isn't one he intended on including, but it's one of Val's. It floats throughout the space. It's perhaps been here, dragging Valentine back to Hargrave House as time sends them elsewhere. It's how perhaps they've always known of this place, been here before, will be here again. It's a small anchor, and it's easy to get mixed up in the time magic. As the threads of time begin to wind together, they form a ring. Not a wedding ring, but the ring of a mirror hoop, a portal, allowing us to see backwards. And Val, wherever you were off to at the time, be it in your room with a book, the kitchen with a snack, or out in London, does the hoop appear for you, or do you get pulled to the same viewing room?
I think it makes sense if I get pulled in much the same way that I experience this location in time.
And so this innate silver and red and time-based hoop appears, pulling Valentine in.
And I think Mari turns to see Val literally being pulled into the space as you create this portal mirror that we're all watching. And she looks at you, Val, with those eyes and says, "This is the truth that I can offer you. This is a choice of offering a tie to me, if you want. But this is to confirm that I am who I say I am, and not who my mother determines me, or who I thought I was, or who I was conjured up to be. This, I believe, is the truth."
It's good to hear you say that. That is what I was trying to tell you all along.
And then she turns wordlessly back to the mirror and will kind of like, offer her hand out, hoping that you'll take it and, watch whatever shows up in the mirror with her. And, obviously Damon's conjuring the mirror to show whatever it's going to show.
Take her hand and turn to look.
And with that 12, yeah, I mean, you're watching the mirror and it shows basically La Regina. And she has basically entered a village in rubble. It looks like this is a place that has experienced some kind of invasion of some sort. And this is the aftermath. And the people there are, either the populace is either like decimated or, they're hurting or whatever. And you can see or you can hear that she's responding to something. She hears something in a house. And she hears the cries of a baby. And she goes through this abandoned home, and there's a baby left there. The baby is dirty, but seems to be relatively okay, protected by some beams that have fallen, but in such a way that the baby was left unharmed. And she takes the baby and essentially claims her for her own, but then does something to the baby and names her and says, "You will be my little marionette, always tied to me by my strings, dancing at my call, always following." And she does something, of course, with her hands, and we see the magical silver threads, attaching to this child. And, you know, once you come out of that vision, it's like you see that Mari's, like, eyes are filled with tears. It's like, I'm real. But she's had me under her sway ever since.
I swear to you, Mari, on my honor, that I will sever those strings tonight, and you will be free.
Daymond took care of most of them, but she put me under such an obligation.
And only by dealing with her can we guarantee that the strings will never be replaced.
I will go with you, if only to help sever that tie for good. And she turns to you, Daymond. I thank you, Daymond. I know we are not related by blood, but now I feel I owe you a tie stronger than family.
Thanks, and a life well lived are the only repayments I need. Though, if you do get the chance, no, I'll save that for another time. One small favor. I promise. It's nothing so demanding as what you've been asked to do by those who would pull your strings without first offering something to you.
I trust you, Daymond. And she will actually go over and give you an embrace if you let her.
Daymond will. And Daymond will nod and wink at Val and mouth, "Don't screw this up."
Val will give a small smile and a nod.
Are we ready to go? When she releases you.
We will have to put the heartstrings back. It does make it much more difficult to follow them when there are several leading us in a circle in the parlor.
Certainly.
And I presume while waiting for Marybelle and Treasure, we will spend the time putting our heartstrings back in the right place.
Okay, so everybody get prepped up and ready to go. Alrighty, so as Daymond and Mari, help create the doorway or the threads that will bridge over to the Teatro. Yeah, everybody gets prepped up, ready to go. However, they're arming themselves. I want to know how people look, like if they're, how they're gearing up to go to the Teatro, what they look like when they're getting ready to go through this doorway portal thing that Mari and Daymond are creating. Yes, we were going to let's get a description on like how people look before we take our break.
Marybelle looks just the same as Marybelle always does. Their apron has full pockets. There are items in their pockets, but ready to go. But otherwise, just the same as always.
Val is dressed in kind of Elizabethan men's attire, so hose and those kind of ballooning pants with the slashed sleeves and everything, and a hat, velvet hat, and with a sword buckled at their waist.
I think Treasure is wearing, as ever, their version of the spider silk suit. It is just pristine and immaculately clean. And he is carrying Beelzebub's fiddle.
Dressed in maroon, with black spider webbing going down the coat. Underneath it peeks out the slightest hint of tan fabric in a vest. It is remarkably uncolor coordinated, but sentimental, as Daymond would walk out with a brightly colored lion's shawl draped around him, carrying the almanac of the Hyades flipped open to the current date.
Remember, the almanac was taken from...
Oh, it was?
Yes. You don't have it anymore. Like
Most
Regina has it.
unfortunate.
Sorry.
I would pick a different personal quarters item to take that.
You will have the opportunity to get it back if you really want it. So, without much fanfare, I imagine that you, Daymond, work with Mari in tracing the threads and working your way arcanely through and find your way to where the Teatro is located in London this particular evening. Maybe it's something that is not necessarily seen in this particular plane of London. It looks like it, but maybe it's turned around. Maybe it's in a lateral area. Maybe it's in a place where it looks like London, but it's not quite here. A liminal place, a dreamlike place, even. But wherever you end up, you open up the portal, and it's as if you hear the gear of machinery, you hear the clanking, you hear just some kind of mechanical sounds, and you see those rivulets of fog, as if like fog machines are going across, or like some kind of steam is going through, like when the portal opens, and even Mari looks back at you and says, "This is different. I know she was doing dress rehearsals, but this is different from before." And she steps through, and when you step through, if you have a stomach, it's like your stomach has dropped from from one place and gone like about 3 floors down into another. And when you step through, it's almost as if there is a lantern light that like shines through, and it's a dim red light that shines on you when you enter into this space. You're not sure exactly where it's coming from, but it is on. And aside from that, you don't really see anything aside from this weird fog and the red light. And Mari looks around. Her workshop would be in the back, behind the theater, behind the dressing rooms. We need to get back there and then see if we can find her or break some of the puppets that she already has. And when you start to enter into this place, you notice off to the side there is something that lights up as if there's a spotlight on the stage. And on the stage, curtains part, spotlight is lit, and in the center of the stage seems to be what look like not canisters, but how to say, kind of like pods. They look like pods, like what we would term pods. And inside the pods are individuals that look like they're trying to get out. They're awake and they're trying to get out. One of them looks like one of them looks like Isabel. Another looks like, in your brain, Marybelle, looks like the hedge witch. But that can't be. She's dead. And then there's another person like all the way on the end that you can't quite tell who it is, but it looks male, but who knows. And yeah, there's 3 people in the pods. And then the person overseeing this is the old woman that you might remember, Val, from like the King in Shadows play that had like kind of chased Mari back away from you, Columbine. And she's kind of like monitoring the pods. Like there's like blinking lights on it, and she's kind of like just monitoring them for, I guess, readings or whatever. But she's like seems to be also standing guard over them as well.
I think Val will immediately draw their sword and rush toward them with the sword pointed at them and looking at the figure of Isabel in one of the pods and
Isabel sees you
demand
in the pod, and she's like immediately like trying to bang on the pod and get out. And you can't hear her. I mean, like she's like it's like completely enclosed. Like you can't hear her yelling. And the other person,
What is this?
Yeah.
What is this? What have you done to them?
The old woman is looking and saying, "Oh, the night. How lovely. I've always wanted to try my mettle against you. Just some experiments, of course. Person out of time, you should know. These are also people out of time."
You will release them this instant.
Of course not. The experiment's not over.
I will not warn you again.
as I would listen to you. And looks like she has her hand behind her back. And just as she's doing that, you hear like Mari cry out. It's like, Val, watch! She's the knife behind the back.
And I'll lunge toward her
All
with the
right.
sword.
Vitality.
Night move, I presume.
Of course. Course. Remember, y'all rolled a 7, so this is starting to get dangerous and shit. So.
Well, damn sword is not in my equipment. But
Doesn't
never mind.
matter. This is the finale. Of course you have it in your equipment. It's okay. You're right.
Yeah, I guess what I'm afraid is going to happen is that I can't save Isabel. Or that it's not actually her that's in there, just something that looks like her.
Yup. Probably. Like, it could probably be worse in that, you get disarmed and, you get double teamed, basically. It's like, the fake Isabel will probably like stab you in the back. Sounds good. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
So, does touched by the void mess me up, or am I rolling flat?
Blah, blah. No, I'm not gonna have that like bother you at this point. No.
Have I got anything that can give me advantage?
What you get?
I have the gratitude of the destitute, which was given to me in session 1, I think, and
Okay.
I've never used it.
Okay.
Can I argue that these 4 people are in need of rescuing?
Yes.
All right. If you're going to let me get away with it, I'm going to roll with advantage then.
Okay.
That is a 8.
8. Okay. All right. So
I'm
tell
glad
me
I got
how
the
you.
advantage because the last die was a 1.
Yeah. So she puts up a good, like, Colombian puts up a good fight because, I mean, like, she's very skilled. Like, she is a. She's not only a skilled warrior, but she's also like a spy master. So imagine that kind of fighting, stealth fighting. But you do, like, get the better of her. So tell me how this looks as you disarm her. But there will be a complication with this.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is to do with the reach that I have. She has a knife, shorter blade. I have a rapier and the skill to wield it. And yeah, I think it ends up with me perhaps even impaling the hand that holds the knife. Now, as I said,
Yeah.
set them free.
Ugh. And then she calls out to someone off stage, like, beyond you, on the other side of the stage. And then, like, you see like the hood of La Regina, and then you see like the features of Dr. Weiss as Dr. Weiss is clutching what looks like a book in her hand, and she's basically telling them to book it, like however she tells them to run. And they go further off, like, off stage, to someplace beyond. And Mari calls out. It's like, that they're heading towards one of the other workshops or something like that. Even as you have impaled her hand, and she's dripping blood. And I think you catch, as you see her go down, as you see her crumple down, clutching her hand, I think you catch, like, Isabel not looking triumphant that you did this, but I think you catch her drop her facade, and then you're like you're seeing her look stricken that you did this, like, oh shit, like, you dispatched, Columbine. Like, this is not the reaction Isabel should be having, right?
Mr. Gray, what do you make of these people? Are they who they appear to be?
They are who they appear to be. Do we know who the odd man out is?
Let me just see. I just want to check on one thing before I say who it is. Sorry. The odd man out had his face turned away from you, but then you catch, like, the white hair, and it's like a different suit. And then when, like, he kind of like turns back towards you, like, he wasn't like banging on the glass or anything like that, but when he turns towards you, it's like you see your features staring back at you, Daymond.
Do not believe these people are who they appear to be. I would actually like to take a look at the pods while Daymond is figuring out what these people are.
Right.
I want to use because I have my Cricket Quick Compact Analytic Engine on.
Mm-hmm.
I can process information very quickly. So I think I want to examine these pods to see if there's a way to keep them locked so that whoever is in these things can't get out until we want them to.
Sure. Do you have to roll for that, or you have to...
That is a roll with reason.
Sure, absolutely. Go for it.
That's a 10.
Okay.
And I do not get a condition.
Okay.
And I get an additional clue. Not that we really need clues right now, but...
Well, I mean, like, you can get a detail. That's fine. Yeah. So I think, like, tell me what you do to kind of, like, check the panels. So each of the pods have, like, their own, like, push button panel and such like that. They have symbols on them that you do not recognize, but yet you somehow know what to push to make sure that they're locked instead of, like, opening.
Yeah. I just don't want them to get out and, come at us from behind.
Yeah.
While we're trying to figure things out.
Right. And
I've locked them. They can't get out. Mr. Gray, do you have any idea what they are?
Well, either I'm not the real Mr. Gray, I would think again, for the third time, or these are puppets.
And I think as you've locked down and you say what you say, Marybelle, and Daymond, you say what you say, the one who looks like Isabel, like, will stretch out in her pod and just kind of like, oh, so you found out. I'm terribly sorry, but
we can't
whatever the
hear
ladies...
you, Isabel. You're in the pod.
You actually can hear.
Oh.
She was faking it. Terribly sorry. But whatever the lady says goes. If it helps. And I hope it does. And at this point, she's looking directly at Val. Time spent with you was genuinely enjoyable. Even if it was for the lady. And she kind of like relaxes with her hands behind her head in the pod. Do you have a reaction to this, Val?
I think Val is rather struck speechless. Was, thinking, was there a real Isabel, like there appears to have been a real Mr. Grey? Or is the Mr. Grey that's in the pod akin to when Val is able to appear at two places at the same time? And this was the Isabel that I always knew.
I think the Mr. Grey in the pod kind of like sees the confusion and will just say, just duplicates, Not as confusing as you think. She can make multiples.
You're just a copy.
A very good-looking copy.
Of course. We're all good-looking copies. She's making more,
We don't have time for this. They can't get out. We can deal with them later.
You're right, Marybelle. And I think Val just gives this kind of sorry look toward Isabel and turns to go where the others went.
When you turn away, Val, it's like you hear the Isabel in the pod go, "It was fun, Val."
I don't respond.
And Mari follows you and says, "Val, are you all right?"
My determination is redoubled. Come.
She's making copies. It's begun. Here. The workshop is down this hallway. And you hear the clattering steps, although they are far ahead, because remember, La Regina and Dr. Weiss had gone ahead of you after you ran Columbine through the hand. And you hear like pumps, you hear the gears, and it starts turning into where you see like kind of grating, like steps, and then you see like hallways that go off into different areas. And this does not look like a theater anymore. This does not look like a Victorian theater anymore. It starts looking more like an industrial factory. Somehow it looks much, much bigger than you would have expected a theater to be. And now the steam is building up in this place. There is a distinct smell of oil and chemicals and just other scents here that just you don't even understand or recognize. And then you hear a disembodied voice call out, "I give you a chance, Hargrave House. You could join me. You could help in the colonization or decolonization of the empire. Take control where the empire was supreme, and take hold of the strings yourself.
Val looks toward the others and just says, without even speaking, just the look they give is, none of you are thinking about taking that offer, right?
I don't listen to my mother anymore. I'm with you, Val.
There are only two ends of
Tempting.
a string. I'm holding one, and someone else is holding the other. There's no room for a third.
I'll admit it is tempting, but we have more pressing matters now than deciding on who should be ruling this kingdom in a day or two. And certainly somebody else will show up and try to usurp them, so...
La Regina makes common cause with monsters. That is all I need to know.
You have your answer. Now show yourself.
So be it. And then when you when you get to the next rise, you enter into this big room, which looks like it would be one of those what is it? Showcase halls or something like that. All right. But instead of being empty, it's full of silhouettes, and you just see glowing eyes, different people, different faces of things or people that you saw or met before in multiple. It is an army. It is her army. It is her puppet army. And she has decided to throw it at you in this space. So, Hargrave House, you have a battle on your hands. Night moves for everyone.
I would like to go first, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I have, in my apron, a small bundle of dynamite.
God damn. Go for it.
And I would like to throw it at the room.
Okay. At large. Sure.
Large, yeah.
Okay. All right. What could go wrong if you fail or lose your nerve?
I'm going to blow us all up.
For sure. I can't think of how it would be worse. Blow us all up. Oh, okay. So I think where I said this was a liminal space, it's like, she's moved the Teatro to an actual space. So maybe it's near Parliament. Sure, let's blow up the whole world. It's great. It's all good. It's all good. All right.
Okay.
Night move with, I don't know, vitality.
I can't imagine my conditions are affecting me, my silver human demon hands.
Nah. Well, wait, hold on. Nah, I'm not going to do
Throw
that right
something
now.
with them.
I might be not as good at throwing, but I feel like it's not so much the throwing as the explosion.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's the explosion. That's such a wide area. It's just like, for chaos. It's like for chaos sake.
All right, so this is advantage with vitality. It's just a straight roll for me. Ooh, it's a good thing I had that advantage because that's a 7.
Holy crap! Okay, go ahead. Describe the insanity, and we'll give the complication.
When we step in and the eyes light up, and I think to what we just left, to these strange puppets in these pods, these strange fake versions of people, looking around at the fake versions of people surrounding us, and it is just a quick matter of pulling out the dynamite, lighting it, saying, "You all should get down," and throwing it as hard as I can at the largest group of these puppets, and then trying to make myself as big as I possibly can in order to shield my friends from any resulting residual blast. And I can do that because I have telescopic limbs.
Cool. I think, though, even with your telescopic limbs, though, I don't think that you calculated for the way these particular puppets are, because I think when you had done the answering the question, it's like you determined that these were actual robots that, of course, we didn't have any context for that, like for Victorian times. So I think these puppets were not just wood and straw or whatever. So these are actual like mechanical things with like, full on like silicon, whatever, like, array. So their parts are blasting apart. And so getting past your telescopic limbs and then spreading everybody out and bump and like just like smashing into people. So everybody's separated from you, even though they're behind you. So everybody's separated. All right. So, you can't spot where everybody went. All right. So that's the complication for the 7. All right. So what is everybody else doing? Ears ringing, blast going. You might not be able to see. You just know like a damn explosion just went off. And, what your people doing? You all separated. Yeah.
Taking a look to see if Mari is unhurt, and then just tackling these automata, whichever one is closest to me.
I think, interesting. Oh man, it almost makes me wish that you were in a different game, because I feel like I want to put ruin on everybody. Seriously, because it's like I feel like it's affecting you all because of the explosion.
Conditions.
That's true. All right. Val, I think the explosion has like kind of set off like a time memory in your head. This is outside of a mask. But what memory does the explosion remind you of? You don't get thrown into that time period, but it just reminds you of it.
I think it has to be 1940, and as we saw in a mask previously, Val, with the expeditionary force escaping from Dunkirk and the dive bombers strafing the beach and dropping bombs on the escaping soldiers, and the explosion just ripping through people in the way it ripped through these automatons.
I think you hear thrumming in your head of this. I mean, like as the explosion kind of like, just rings out, and I think you hear like Mari yelling something, but she's kind of like been blown like across the room, and she's like under a pile of these limbs and like torsos and such. So she's just trying to get out from underneath them. You don't see anybody else. So
I'll try and get my way toward her to help.
For sure. I think as you try to get to her, I think the ones that are still somewhat intact, like, they still have like, most of the limbs to be able to get to you, they're trying to advance upon you. So you're going to need to night move it to get past them.
Yeah. I will night move it then. Just checking I marked the thing I used previously. Do I want to make this a flat roll? Do I want to just I presume this is with vitality?
Yeah. If you're trying to get away from them that way, or you can use a move of your own, a playbook move if you'd like.
Yeah. I mm, yeah, no, I do have a move that would be able to get me advantage if I'd made a promise to another hunter, but I made a promise to Mari, so that doesn't really count. All right, let's just roll it.
This
I
is
could
a
use my
finale. This is a finale. I am not going to quibble. What do you want to do?
yeah, it's also not exactly the promise I made. Why don't I use my wheel-lock pistol from my personal quarters? I can pull out to dispatch one of these things before trying to run another one through with a sword.
Okay.
Oh dear. Even with advantage, that's 5.
So what? Oh,
I rolled
forgot to
two
ask,
twos
like,
and a
what the
1 on the dice.
Jesus Christmas. I forgot to ask, like, how it could go wrong. Jesus. All right.
Oh, sorry, yeah. That I won't be able to. That they're going to reach Mari before I do and take some sort of revenge on her for her betrayal of
Mm-hmm.
Regina.
Mm-hmm. I think as she's struggling out of from underneath the pile of limbs and you are trying to get to her, you get tackled from one side from, like, the other puppets, because again it's like they're overwhelming by numbers, right? So I mean, like, you've got them, like, just trying to grab you, not necessarily, like, trying to attack you, but just trying to grab you. And as they're grabbing you and you see her struggling from underneath, you see strings appear overhead. You see strings dropping down and attaching themselves to her again. And as soon as they attach, she is lifted up into the air and suspended by these threads, by these silver threads. And she tries to move against them. She tries to resist, but the pull is too strong, and she is again suspended by these threads and then pulled away from you. And the last thing you hear, even as you're overwhelmed by the sheer numbers and the hands are trying to push down on your head, is her shrieking, "Val!" as she disappears into the darkness.
Okay. I'm going to go with that consequence.
Okay. How are you feeling about that, Val?
Furious and vengeful.
Take the condition Red-Eyed Fury. Daymond, treasure. Ugh. Both of you are separated, but I mean, like, you're blasted, like, underneath a pile of limbs and torsos and such. You don't spot anybody else. I mean, like, again, the explosion's ringing in your ears. And you see, again, shadows, because, again, like, your vision's just blurred by just the mess and the chaos. What do you do? I will say, though, Daymond, you might hear, like, a blurry or a distorted whisper. Still not going to take my deal?
Unfortunately, I don't think Daymond actually hears those words. Being underneath a pile of what in his mind are bodies, punching, kicking, he is not in this moment. He is probably brought back to his days at an orphanage, being beaten and bullied in the yard, and he doesn't come up with a logical and sensible solution. He comes up with the exact same solution he did last time. I would like to, Rites of Salt and Smoke, to do something beyond human limitation, and I would like to double or triple myself in size and begin a bloodbath, because that is how he dealt with this problem last time. And he has to do, and this is the only thing that he can think to do again. It's bullies on top of me. I have to get them off.
Yep, go for it. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. What are your conditions? Most beloved, full of their strengths. Yeah, most beloved is basically like against you always, because that's another reason why they're always on top of you, is because it's like, you're attracting them naturally or unnaturally in this case.
In that case, I've got a caterwaul print of Hargrave House defeating the slugger in a boxing match. That feels very appropriate.
Very appropriate. Absolutely. Cancel it out, sure.
Six, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Take an effect as well as a complication, I believe.
Yes, so the effect is to do something beyond human limitation. That is increased strength and kind of a bloodlust.
Yep.
And a complication. The magic has a problematic side effect. Let's go with that one. I feel like I've got too much unwanted attention already.
Yep. You can't see clearly. Your side effect is that you cannot see. Truthfully. Friends may appear as enemies. Enemies may appear as friends. This may be a problem for you, Mr. Gray. Continue.
Imagine that in this pile, you see it undulate and writhe as dolls, marionettes, and body parts begin to fly up and out of this pile. As standing up, Mr. Gray. He is large. Maybe not double, but close to. He's much taller in stature, his muscles rippling, his hands the exact same size as they were previously, being Marybelle's hands. And his eyes are covered, perhaps in his own blood, perhaps in the oil and the glue of the doll parts. And he just begins charging forward, tearing at everything in his path. There is no friend, there is no foe. There is the crunch of wood, the clank of metal, the slap of glue and viscous fluids flowing. His clothes begin to become blood-stained or oil-stained. He doesn't know nor care. Unlike last time, there is no one to clean him off. Coven long since abandoned. Just makes a mess of everything.
Treasure, where are you in this chaos?
Yeah, I think are there still any interlopers wandering about after that like massacre that just happened?
I mean, some have overwhelmed Val, and some maybe trying to get, overwhelm Marybelle. So, I mean, again, she was throwing like numbers at you all. So, Marybelle took up a good chunk through the dynamite, and
Yeah, so
Damon's
um
like swathing through the rest.
I I
Some
I think
stragglers.
I think maybe steering in an arc clear of Mr. Gray's massacre, uh, Treasure would run in the direction maybe of Valentine if you can see them at all, and just yell out something like, uh, "Val, Marybelle, I'm about to play," and say a little Charles Gounod, I think, and Treasure will begin to play a funeral march for a marionette
Love it.
with the Beelzebub's fiddle.
Love it. All right. Magic fiddle allows the person playing the instrument to compel everyone listening to dancing mania that will not break until dawn. Oh boy. 7 people at once. Oh boy. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that should take care of some remaining stragglers, but hopefully people will cover their ears. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? I mean,
I'm torn between what I'm afraid of. I think I'm either afraid that these robot marionettes aren't susceptible
mm-hmm,
to Beelzebub's fiddle,
mm-hmm.
or that my fellow hunters will not take note and will get caught up in this mania as well.
Right. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Oh, what the hell? It's the finale. I mean, I think it could be a little bit worse than that. I think it's such a weird liminal space that it's a combination of both, where it's the puppets will fall prey to the fiddle, but they will take the remaining hunters in the embrace of it, and then create some kind of horrific macabre dancing tableau, and everybody's involved until dawn.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then La Regina gets away with everything. So yeah.
Love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah, that'll be great. Sure.
Right.
This doesn't involve a roll though.
So, what do you with composure, you think, or sensitivity?
Sensitivity.
Okay, that's a 0. I've got it. I'll mark the fiddle for advantage. Is my protection affecting this?
You know what? My house is my protection. Again, finale. Fuck it. That's your advantage because it'll cover everyone.
Right. Oh, that's even with advantage. That is a 6.
What the hell? What is going on tonight? Oh my god, you people.
Oh.
Well, I gave consequence.
Yeah.
The macabre dance goes. I mean, like you play Gounod's funeral. And yeah, I mean, like the puppets will engage the gray, you know, murder machine, Marybelle, and the fury that is Val, and then just create this really, really crazy dance montage and go until dawn. And we see you sobbing as you play, and Regina pretty much laughing it up as she enacts her plan. And come dawn, Victoria is under her sway, as well as the rest of Parliament. And I mean, like, you know, she won. How else do you want me to do this? I mean, come on now.
Fun. Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun while we lasted. I mean,
seeing that. It was fun seeing that play out. But
that was great. Okay, all right. See you, folks. Okay.
I'm gonna mark the cosmic passage.
What is your cosmic passage?
It raises the sensitivity by 1 and lowers my reason by 2.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. So that's up to 7 to 9. That does not happen. Okay, great. It works. So, yeah. You managed to engage just the remaining puppets that aren't affected by the swath, the murder swath, you know, that aren't already engaged with Marybelle or Val, and you know, they are lulled into the dance. Maybe they dance with each other. You know, it is quite the somber. I would imagine the somber tune. I don't know the. I don't know the.
I'm an old man, but it's if you've ever seen Alfred Hitchcock Presents. They use part of it as the theme for that.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, again, they kind of like do the walk, and then they will they will do a dance to that for, again, until dawn, and you've got them doing the dance to that.
Yeah. I think I will try to just sort of Pied Piper like kind of lead them away from Valentine.
Sure. Marybelle, once you've gotten like your bearings after throwing the explosions, the dynamite, and you see the carnage. Oh my god. And you do spot everything that has happened. You see, like Val starting to go down underneath, like, you know, some of these puppets / robots, and then you see Mari being carried up, and of course the transformation of Mr. Gray, and you hear Treasure's warning. What do you do?
I would like to.
Would you like something to offer you? Do you hear some whispers as the ringing goes down?
Maybe.
Maybe from your hands. Maybe you feel like that little whisper. You don't understand why, but through the human skin, maybe it's as if you feel an actual breeze, as if somebody's blowing air across it, or just kind of like feeling you out.
I do that with my hands, crack the knuckles a bit.
And as you bring your hands closer to your face, or bring those hands closer to your face, maybe you hear, "Hello." Marybelle.
You are the thing that plagues Mr. Gray, are you not?
Yes, I am.
And what do you think of the destruction he is causing?
It's delicious. Delightful.
Is there nothing I can bargain with you for you to release your hold on him?
Oh. You wish to bargain? You wish to make a deal? Really?
But I need to know that you truly are as powerful as you say you are. These hands, I know that they can work strange magics. Can you help me use them?
Of course I can. I've helped him use magics before.
Do this, I will consider a bargain, but I will not guarantee one.
What should you offer?
I think I throw out one of my arms. I keep one hand close to my face, and I throw out one of my arms, and I use my telescopic limb to Inspector Gadget its way over to where Val is being cornered by these things. We must save my friend.
Oh, save everyone and anyone you want. But what do you want?
At this moment, I want to save my friend.
What do you have to offer?
The promise that I will listen to a bargain.
What if it means giving up a spark? Life?
I did not ask for this spark of life, and yet I would choose for it to remain.
Could be fun to be carried around and play with your spark for as long as you live. If you will have a companion.
I have companions.
Then what reason is there for me to stay?
Would you not rather a bargain with a being that cannot be injured, that cannot be hurt, that cannot be killed in the same way a soft, squishy human can? Would you not rather trading Mr. Gray for me?
Oh. You offer a trade. Oh, interesting. Delicious. Oh. Your hand on it.
The hand that I currently possess? Yes. The hand that is attached to Mr. Gray? No. Do not try and fool me, demon. I will not take it lightly.
This will not be light at all. And as he says that, you feel this weight to one of your hands, or one of the hands, one of your human hands, and it feels like it just drops to the ground. as if like, you've just like carried like 100-pound weight in your hand. And when you try to lift it up, you see like there's like some kind of burn in the middle of it. A bargain, then, a bargain. Play with the power. We'll make our deal later.
Yeah, I would like to use my demon hand and do a rites of salt and smoke to help save Val from the automatons that are attacking them.
Sure. Let's see how this goes. Alrighty.
Fine. All right.
What could go wrong?
In this case, I think the demon was not being truthful and has taken over my hands, and I have no control over them anymore.
Oh, change your condition to what the hell did I call it before? Change it to the weight of a demon bargain. Yeah, the weight of a demon bargain. Yep.
All right.
And that's what you're rolling against.
Yeah.
Of course.
There's a sensitivity.
Sure.
Of course it is. That's a 7.
We're doing
Thank you,
great.
my +1 in sensitivity.
We're doing great. It's all right. It's okay. All right. So pick an effect and a complication.
Let me just quickly scroll over to how that works because I don't remember it. The effect is do one thing that is beyond human limitations.
Mhm.
And the complication is the magic has a problematic side effect.
Oh, do I do the same thing twice?
Amanda did pick the same effect and complication I did. Do it.
She did.
I did do it.
She did it. She did it. Sure. Okay. Yeah, sure. You can't tell enemy from friend or friend from enemy. It's gonna be PvP, god damn it. I live to see it, so it'll be great. Oh man, I love it. Okay, yeah, that's the complication.
But I do manage at least. I think what we see is this telescopic limb with this hand, and the strings in the hand, they start to the threads, they start to glow and snake up into Marybelle's arm, her doll arm, and the nails grow long and silvery like claws and just start to shred these automatons like tin, like a can opener could shred a tin can. And hopefully I don't shred Val.
Hopefully you don't shred Val. But yeah, the way it's complicated is that yeah, you save Val, but when you look over to Daymond, of course you see a monster. You don't recognize them. And Daymond, when you look over at Marybelle, you see a monster. You think that a monster has grabbed Val. Oh shit.
They charge full steam at this at whatever doll La Regina has created that doesn't look like a person. It's got long spaghetti arms, claws, sharp as daggers, hair that looks too orange for real life. And charge. And in a poetic twist, I would assume that I grab my own hands as Marybelle grabs her own hands.
We're talking mano y mano. There we go.
Yep.
Yep.
This is a contest roll.
Like I said, I feel like we're playing a completely different game now. I mean, like, stakes. Goddamn. I need dice rolls here. I need dice pools here. Fuck. This is just night move against each other at this point. I mean, like, that's basically what it is. Oh my god, damn it. And we just hear, like, for the moment, it's like we just hear La Regina laugh. So, while you two are doing the night move against each other, literally, Treasure, Val, what are you doing? Val, you get a distinct lightness as all these things are torn off of you, and you see the monster that is Marybelle, like tear these things off of you. Like they're just more terrifying as they've, they're not as unassuming as they normally are. I mean, like, the aspects, like the claws and everything, have just torn through these things that were atop you. But maybe you see them now through a red-eyed film, as you're still furious about losing Mari, or trying to get through them.
Yeah, I think Al is so single-mindedly focused on stopping La Regina. They're not. There's nothing much they can do for Daymond Grey or Marybelle. So I think they're going to try and use the opportunity to get out of there and pursue La Regina.
Yeah. That's fine. In fact, you probably see the the gleam of the hallway that they had gone down, like further off, like beyond the explosions and the pile of bodies, literally the pile of bodies. Yeah, I mean, like, that's where you can go. You may even see, like, Treasure, like, playing the fiddle distantly. But I mean, again, like, if all you hear is the thrumming of your furious heart in your ears, that's probably all you hear. You're so single-minded. Do you call out to Treasure, or do you just stomp your way down that hallway?
I think so.
Okay.
No, I'll call out to Treasure to come with me.
Yeah,
Treasure,
and I think
quickly.
Yeah, and
We
Treasure
can end
will
this now.
take off after Val, realizing there's not much he can do between these two titans either.
Okay.
Maybe Beelzebub's fiddle just stays floating in the air while Treasure takes off running after Val.
Yeah. I think once you start getting it to play, it just kind of hovers. It's taking a life on its own. And it's like, it just continues its looping song, and holds those that it has wrapped into its musical trap. Like it holds them fast. So, but you two are pounding down the hallway, and it's like I want to know the results of the knife move against each other. Oh my god. Who won?
Stand are we rolling with?
Oh god. I want to say vitality because it's like if you guys are going after each other in that way, I mean that just seems to be the most sense. Unless you're flinging the rights at each other, that's the only one that makes sense.
I
How
don't
could it
think
go?
I would fling the rights because I don't think that's my natural instinct to do
No.
so.
No, you're gonna
But
tear it.
Mr. Gray might.
Well,
No, I don't think he would. The last time he was in such a state, it was all fists
okay.
and
So
metal.
then definitely vitality for both of you, and then how the hell would this shit go wrong?
We're gonna kill each other.
Yes. Yes, and
Or one of us will kill the other one.
Yeah.
That might even be worse.
yeah. Well, I think the way it's worse is the fact that it's like, you see who you're killing and you don't stop.
That's so mean.
That's why
Yeah.
it's worse.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Want to roll on 3?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
That would be an 8, but it's down to a
Mine's
7.
Mine's a 9. So we're both in the same range.
Do we re-roll this to continue the struggle until someone wins?
That would be a complication.
Oh god, that would be...
I think, yeah, I mean, like, because basically it's like, you're complicating each other. I mean, like, I would have you narrate, like, how this fight looks because, I mean, this would be epic. As Val and Treasure pound down that hallway to try and get to La Regina and Dr. Weiss. I think, yeah, Daymond and Marybelle, like, are just tearing at each other or just, parkouring off of the walls. Who the hell knows? But I think, like, the complication is La Regina's feeding into this. She is somehow creating the atmosphere where it's making it easy for you to go after each other. And reveling in it.
I think in this space, the marionettes that we have not killed stand around us and start calling out bets.
Yeah.
A bout club has formed.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
The Slugger's Revenge.
Yeah. All right. So let's head over to Val and Treasure. You pound down the damn hallway. God damn it. You notice that there's more of a gleam of metal here. Again, this does not look like the Teatro that you thought it would be. And you pass by several rooms that look like either exam rooms or like work rooms. And in one of the rooms, you spot what looks like a book in a case, in a glass case. It seems to be under glass. and it seems to be stained incredibly with ink. I don't know if anybody else had seen what the Almanac of Hyades, like really looked at the Almanac of Hyades.
If anyone would recognize it, I think Treasure would, since it belonged to Mr. Gray.
Yeah, I think Treasure must have known about it. They were around. He was around before it got taken, so he probably would have maybe, seen through a crack in a door or something. So I think seeing that Treasure would run forward and try to smash the glass.
Okay. As soon as you try to smash through the glass, it's like, you hear like an alarm, like, and it's not happy with you. The lights flash, and yeah, it does not break. And Dr. Weiss steps out from behind a panel. It won't open for you,
Why not? It belongs to Mr. Gray.
It's for safekeeping. It's part of a key for our success.
Your success.
Yes.
To what end, Eleanor?
You've changed, Kemuel. You never used to be interested in these things.
I always was, but I wasn't always capable.
If you must know, I now have the key. Besides this, La Regina gave me the secret. It was always about the names, the word, to give power and life, creation. We have that now. All of those people down there, full of life. And there's more to come.
You would take it from them to twist it to your own purposes.
It's always been about creation, Val. Always. The secret that my father was searching for. And now I've found. You're not going to take it from us. And with this, we can control all of this, the empire that needs to fall, and build a better one.
Ever the dream of madmen.
I think
Go ahead.
I think Treasure will actually try to grab Dr. Weiss and smash her into the glass case.
Okay. This will be... Yeah, I mean, night move with vitality, I think. That would be the easiest.
Yeah, and I think what I'm afraid of is that I'll just utterly fail at that, and Dr. Weiss will have the upper hand.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll smash me.
Yeah, like the way it's worse is that this isn't actually Dr. Weiss. This is actually the puppet version of Dr. Weiss, who's much stronger and much more skilled. So definitely smash you into the case for sure.
First.
course.
All right, vitality. That's 5. That's a 5.
What is with these goddamn rolls? Holy shit! Well, it is as I say. I mean, like, you try and grab onto Dr. Weiss, and she looks down at your grip and goes, "Now, Kemuel, did you really think that I, of all people, would be here in person?" And she twists out of your grip and then grips your hand in an iron vise and then smashes you into the case as if you were like a stick. Yeah. Probably breaking your arm in the process.
Yeah. I'm going to mark a mask.
Yep.
I'm going to mark, I think this fits. I'm going to mark the darkened threshold.
Okay. Darkened threshold?
It says narrate a scene in which you commit a terrible act of violence.
Sure.
In order to help your employer or punish one of their enemies.
Yeah.
And if you allow, I'll narrate it right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think that Treasure grabs Dr. Weiss by the hair, and we see him just smashing her face over and over and over, and her nose is erased, and her eyes are askew. The ears are one up near the top at the head, the other not even visible from view. And we just see as the cracks in the glass begin to fill with blood and gore.
Actually, you see that it is where it is parts. It is of this, like, viscous material, silicone, and it is oil and chemical, and it is something that runs, like, not like blood, but something a little bit thinner. And the eyes are of some material that is like harder and just kind of like pops out, and it just kind of like turns and looks at you and just kind of like accusingly and then just kind of like rolls away, and then just like gets obscured in the damage, but it is not like actually Dr. Weiss. It is just this thing, this shell that you take apart, and then like the wig, of course, the hair piece comes off and such.
I think
that's how you're able to break through the glass, because
yeah.
it's like it's definitely harder than the glass.
And I think maybe partly in frustration and then partly in relief that Treasure didn't just commit this horrid murder. They're just sort of smashing their own hands into the glass and then just sort of kind of half crumble over the book.
And if you close your eyes for a second, and if you feel like you're holding the book, when you open your eyes, you're not holding the book anymore, but you feel something holding your hands. And you feel two feminine hands, very ink-stained, holding your hands. And there's a beautiful woman that is, well, dressed in, like, parchment. And she's looking at you. And she's saying, "You didn't have to do all of that. Your poor hands. Where is Mr. Gray?"
To get you back to Mr. Gray. He's not himself right now.
No, he's not. I knew that. Are you all right?
I think I will be.
You will. You just have to get through today. Today of all days. And then you'll be fine. And her expression is extremely neutral, so you're not sure whether to believe her or not, but yeah. But she's holding onto your hands, and she's just kind of like keeping them a nice firm grip. And she looks at you, Val, and says, "There's still hope for you, if you choose to take it. But you need to let go. Your anger cannot control you."
You're right. My duty is what must lead the way.
She nods, and then she will jut her chin towards the door leading down the hallway to where La Regina will be located. But then she'll also look towards the great hall where, back where the Titans were fighting. It is still your choice, to both of you. That is the way La Regina will enact her plan. And that is the way that two friends will either die or live. Their choice. Where shall we go?
Val, I have to help Mr. Gray and Marybelle.
Yes, treasure. Trying to end this. You know that, of course.
Godspeed.
Bring them, and if I fail, may you succeed in my wake.
And I think Treasure will just take off running, holding this printed hand in the opposite direction.
Well, I mean, like, she's changed back. As soon as you turn, like, towards the thing, she's changed back into the book. So, yeah. You'll book it down the hallway. And then, Val, you'll turn towards where La Regina is. Okay, so back where Daymond and Marybelle have faced off. What are you guys doing? What have you guys done?
We're gonna try something strange.
I like strange. Go for it.
So, for anyone watching or listening, a lot of us have played a lot of a game called Trophy Gold. And in Trophy Gold, there is a role that you can do when you have a PvP moment. There isn't a similar role in the Between, but we're going to modify this one. So in a trophy contest role, you get... I'm going to actually... One really quick moment. I have a dice room loaded up. I'm just going to pop it in chat because it's so much more fun when everyone can see the dice rolling at the same time.
Sure.
So normally in a contest roll, you take one light die if you are skilled in using your equipment or your background or your occupation. I think in this case, if Jeremy agrees, we're both probably skilled enough to take a light die.
In this moment, yes.
Yep. And normally in Trophy, you take one light die for each mark of ruin you currently have. Well, since we don't have ruin, but we do have masks of the future. So we'll take one light die for each mask of the future we have left. So that is 2 for me.
And 4 for me.
Yes. Now, you take one dark die. If the contest itself is inherently deadly or dangerous, and it is, and then you can take as many dark dies as you are willing to risk. Now, since we don't have ruin in trophy, if you get when we do this roll, for every 1 on a dark die, your ruin goes up, and if you get to ruin 6, you are lost. You are ruined forever. You cannot come back. In this one, we've decided that for every 1 on the dark die that we roll, we mark a mask of the future.
Keeping in mind that the final mask of the future is an immediate death, which gives a very hard limit to the number of ones we can roll.
I would like to remind everybody that I am a statistician. I know probability, but I'd also like to.
I'd also like to remind you that the first time you, first time I played Trophy with you, that you had the murder skill and you still wowed it up.
Killed me.
I remember that game.
I remember it very well because I was part of that game. Okay, all right, we can do this. We can do this. So.
All right, so Jeremy, how many? You don't tell us how many dark die you're gonna do, but put in however many you want to put in.
Just because it has been a very hot minute since I've built a trophy roll.
You go into the
no,
contest?
so it's going to be contest, and it's, I believe if my math is right, 5 light for me.
Correct.
And 3 for you, and then a minimum of 1 dark die.
Yes.
Correct.
And then however many dark die you want to add to that roll.
And then we'll count it down. And
okay,
I'll
count it down. Okay.
Time.
All right, ready?
I'm ready. So it's whenever Jeremy's ready.
I am good to go.
3,
Let's go.
2, 1, roll.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
So the way that we count who wins is we start with 6s. Whoever has the most 6s wins the contest.
Daymond got 6s. 2 6s.
Daymond Gray has 2 6s. I have 1 6. Then we go to look at the 1s, and for each dark 1, we have to mark a mask of the future. And this is kind of incredible. I didn't roll any.
And I've got 2.
But you still had.
Oh, I had masks of the future to burn.
Yeah, so you still are fine. People survived. People survived.
We both survived.
Oh my god! But forever.
Which never happens.
Amazing, amazing! Holy crap! Doodle doo. Oh my god. Okay, so, what does Treasure see when he comes pounding up and sees you two at it? Finished? What happens? Like, what does he see? Oh my gosh. As a result of this roll.
I think I'll take the start since you are the winner. You can narrate the finale of the fight.
Yeah.
I think Marybelle is very long limbed. The telescopic limbs are extremely telescoped. Everything is very wavy, almost like those wavy men in front of used dealerships, but terrifying. The long nails of these silver threads coming from these hands and just slashing and tearing at Mr. Gray, just shredding layers of skin as the automatons surrounding us cheer us on. And I think there is a moment, though, where Mr. Gray gets the upper hand.
Unfortunately, that moment does not come from skill. That comes as a blood mist begins to boil up from the floorboards. Rot and decay begins to bubble. And though Daymond Gray can't recognize friend or foe, he knows exactly what this means. And a voice that only the two of us can hear. It's time. They've found you. As a chanting begins, the moss-covered gate where we put the coven into play. As a group of nuns, covered not in black, but in red. It drips like blood, come forward, out of the crowd, appearing out of nothing. They wield lances of blood, and Daymond is backing away from Marybelle. For a moment, it appears that they surround Daymond, lances pointed at him, before they turn towards Marybelle. And in a unison voice, "He is ours. You cannot take him from us." And from below, a man who looks identical to Daymond Grey, completely naked, covered not in silver threads, but in red ivy, appears. "Welcome back," he says, placing a hand on Daymond's shoulder. Not recognizing him, Daymond will simply turn, moving quickly, using the man's own power against him as a fist goes through his patron's skull, the darkened threshold in which, possessed by himself, I harm the dark entity. And the threads upon my skin begin to recede as the coven encircles the patron, and the floors begin to crackle with the same red mist as his jaw gets repositioned. "We'll meet you back at the house." As they begin to disappear, both of our rites of salt and smoke forcibly pulled out of us into the floor. And the coven of the blood-soaked retreats.
Does that mean both of you are collapsed on the floor now? As Treasure approaches.
Yeah, I think Treasure comes running in, and then looks a little confused and like kind of slides down to his knees between Mr. Grey and Marybelle. "Friends, are you conscious? Are you all right?"
See to Marybelle first. I can at least stand, and Daymond will get to his feet slowly, having, I guess, won this contest in the most loose of definitions.
And I think Treasure will, he's holding the book and he'll kind of flip it up above his head to Daymond behind him and just say, "Hold this, please, Mr. Grey." And try to rouse Marybelle.
I think as I gather my bearings, so to speak, I probably have ball bearings actually. It's a terrible pun.
The good pun.
I do sit up, like myself, my limbs shoot back in, and I hold my arms up. The hands, they're dead. They just hang, flopped, unmoving, unmovable.
Marybelle, what did you do?
I'm not certain. They seem to be not working.
Of course. Those hands only worked because of them. And
The people that were here, who... I only remember bits. I only remember flashes.
they are not a group to be trifled with. The Coven of Blood is a group I'd hoped to have left long ago. They use powerful magic, blood magic, for their arts, and they at least worship a god, if you will, that believes to have control over blood. Not in the same way the Duke of Blood did, but they pull, or at one point, they pulled on the other end of these strings, worshipping a patron of mine. You could call him my father, though we are not related by blood. It is all right, Marybelle. These hands still work, and using the last of the threads, I would like to sew Marybelle's hands back on, giving her working hands and leaving mine broken and unusable.
I think you get to choose that because you won the contest role. I can't argue with it. But Treasure, where's Val?
Val's gone to face La Regina.
Alone?
Yes, I came back to help you, the both of you. They're alone.
Mr. Guerrero, are you in quite a state?
So I will deal with what we've left in the theater. And he will limply pick up the book across his forearms and head out towards the front.
Meanwhile, Belle, you follow the hallway. It is dark, and at the end, you see an outline for something in a soft blue. And you feel a thrumming beneath your feet and in your ears and around you. As you get closer, you see the outline of the door, and it's like smooth metal. And you see like buttons along the side. No handle. No, nothing on the door, just the buttons on a panel on the side of the door.
I'll see if I can puzzle out how to open it. I mean, given that I've been to places and times where such things might exist, I might not be as unfamiliar as most people might be.
For all of your person out of time garb, I mean, you probably just reach over, hit the buttons, and the panel slides open. And you see this woman in her hood, cloak, what have you, and you get a better picture of her here. She is in a hood and cloak and such, but she's not in Victorian garb. She's actually in what looks like a uniform, like a kind of like a I don't want to say onesie, like that's not what I mean, but I mean like it's just kind of like a unitard of sorts, you know, with a belt and boots, gloves and such. And when she dances her fingers across a board, it's actually a hologram. It's not an actual console. It's actually a hologram. And she turns to look at you, Val, as you open up the panel door. Ah, Valentine. Sir Gys-Otteray, if I am correct. Yes?
You must be La Regina.
Yes. Yes, I am. You have made the acquaintance of my children. And she smiles, that flat smile of hers.
I don't know exactly what it is that you're plotting against the crown and the empire, but it will end now. And I'll just start to advance very determinedly toward her.
And she has one hand up and another hand on the hologram console. I would wait. Just a moment. Look here. And one finger hits a button and a monitor pops up, and you see the screen pop up, and it shows the Queen Victoria, getting ready to greet Parliament in the usual shtick or whatever. And you see that there are soldiers, there's shadows waiting in the halls beyond, like as if there's cameras there in Parliament, like waiting, and there's shadows beyond in the halls, and it looks like there's duplicates of the Queen and the rest of Parliament waiting in the wings to take over. Are you sure that you want to do this. My forces
My
are
wishes,
getting ready
my
to
wishes,
take over.
wishes do not come into it. I have a duty. I swore a vow. And I'll just try to run her through.
Always a choice. I see. And she will, she will do her best to avoid or try to take you out as well. Night move. Final night move. What do you think will go wrong
Maybe
if you
not.
fail or lose your move?
She will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm afraid of. And my vow will have been unfulfilled
Right.
to protect the crown.
Yes. I think that is one way that it will go wrong. And what is worse is that she will maneuver herself in such a way that you will not only miss, but she will have you run Mari through.
Vitality?
Yes.
Any conditions affecting me?
You're not playing in the void, so no.
Red-eyed fury?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, man. I mean, if you haven't let it go, you haven't let it go.
Not entirely if Mari's
I mean,
back in
unless you
play.
can, wait. Unless you can parlay something in your personal quarters that you could use to mitigate it. I don't know.
I'm just going to go for it.
Okay. All right. So just, yeah, well, disadvantage.
6.
What? Wow. You really want to make this tragic, don't you? God damn it. Okay. So yeah. Tell me how you do this first, and I'll tell you how it fucks up.
I think it's just I take the sword and adopt the dueling stance and push straight toward her very directly.
It is she who has trained Columbine and the others, Spy Master, as well as Puppet Master. So, she is also familiar with these moves. So she matches you, and perhaps she also brings out her stiletto, so she is, maneuvering you as well. And when you think that you have the upper hand, Val, and you think that you have run her through, perhaps there is a moment where she is close to you and her smiling face shows you that you are incredibly wrong as the illusion falls away and you see Mari's horrified face as you have run Mari through. And Mari has a growing red stain in her side. This is the perpetuated violent legacy that you are continuing, whereas I would control the board, and we would have peace in our time. I am so sorry, my dear, as she turns to Mari and kisses her cheek.
I have an idea.
Go for it.
I'm going to use a mask.
Okay.
I'm going to use the blood-soaked portal.
Oh my God! All right. So how does this work? Tell me.
Well, you can tell me how I succeed and then how I come unstuck in time, and I'll do the blood-soaked portal. And the cost, the consequence, because it will still only be a mid-result.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you do her. You keep her away from the console, and she insists, she will argue with you. You are well matched. She will argue with you as you duel and say, "Why are you doing this? Why are you serving such a master, such a mistress, even in the name of your vows, even in the name of your honor, when you could have a settled life? You can break out of your time prison, out of your time loop. She can show you how. She can give you. She promises to give you a life with Mari if that is what you want, Val. Tell me how.
I'm not here to bargain with you. I'm here to put an end to your schemes.
Is it only to put an end to my schemes? Or foolish hard-headedness that you do this? As she blocks one of your parries.
Perhaps I've been accused of such in the past, and perhaps foolish hard-headedness is a quality needed in one who takes a vow and keeps it.
You could have a life. You could have a choice beyond this.
I have lived a long, long, strange life.
Then so it ends. Now. Tell me how it ends.
I think we close, and it's not exactly obvious who has stabbed the other. And as Regina steps back and we see the hilt of the sword protruding from her, Val is gone.
And perhaps that is the time that the rest of Hargrave House bursts into the room. And La Regina falls to her knees. The console unattended, the button not pushed, and Victoria and Parliament unaware of what could have been. So, epilogues, endings. What of the other characters? If you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. if you want to just close out, this would be the time for stars for the series and the session, I guess.
Rob still has the blood-soaked portal to narrate. Do we want to do stars and wishes before that?
Do you want to narrate your blood-soaked portal?
And then do epilogues?
Yeah.
No.
What's your...
The blood-soaked portal, last March. Val in the Elizabethan costume, but without the sword in their hand, but the scabbard still on their waist, appears in Hargrave House several months ago. I'll leave it up to the three of you to decide who Val encounters and kills them at that moment, and then keeps it a secret.
My vote is Kemuel.
That's mine too.
It makes the most sense, yeah. Perhaps Val even has La Regina's stiletto stuck in them. Yeah. And Camuel can just take advantage of their confusion of how they've ended up there and their injury.
Anybody have any other masks that they used during this session? There was a lot of masks going on.
Yeah, geez, there were a lot, yeah.
Crap. I know some were used in the moment, which was great. Oh my god. But if you remember using a mask but you didn't narrate it in the moment, then please do so now. Anybody? Anybody?
I had one
Bueller?
mask.
Bueller?
I had one mask from a previous session that I just had not narrated, hadn't had a good time for. The final mask of the past. Narrate a flashback to an event that influenced you to leave the coven for good. To keep it short and sweet. Daymond Gray would have left the coven because he was asked to kill Tabitha, the woman who'd been more like a mother to him than anyone else. He knows that she's dead. He didn't make it out with her. Just himself. And a suit stained red with her blood.
Anybody else? Damn. Stars. Series? Session? Anything?
I know we're over time, so I'm gonna be really fast. This session was bonkers. This was bonkers.
Yeah.
This was the only note I took was star for gratitude of the destitute at the very beginning because I did not I couldn't even focus on typing enough to get more stars written down. It was that fast paced. There was so much going on. Val's choices in this whole thing were just outstanding, just amazing. It was so heroic and tragic and beautifully done. So Rob, that was awesome way to end that character. I'm really glad you got to use the blood-soaked portal because
I had to do it there at the end, yeah.
it was perfect timing. It was perfect. Jeremy with Daymond Gray punching his hand through his patron's face. Oh, I love action. I love action Gray. That was so rewarding. It was such a fun moment. And all of the choices this session, all the sessions have just been really magical, really, really amazing character choices. It was been just a joy to be at the table with you. Mark, the switch from Kemuel to Treasure, I will never get over that ever. That was so good. Kemuel was such an interesting, weird way to play the undeniable, and then having Treasure come in and be just so opposite and yet still like extremely likable. You want Treasure to win, you know? Really incredible, really incredible. I would listen to your masks for days. They were so good. So thank you for that. And of course, Mads, for having us all at the table, letting us do this wild shenanigans, all the weird faffing about, the jokes, the strange choices, the madness that we were putting you through every moment, and then you giving it right back. This is definitely, I've played a lot of the Between, but I've never played a campaign like this. This was really, really great. Really, really great. So thank you so much. My wish is to play with you all again more.
Stars across the board for a fabulous set of sessions. Rob, how dare you go and die? I know that one of your vows is to be chaste, but did you have to do it without even a parting kiss? It was the right choice for Val. I'm upset about it. Amanda, Marybelle is such an interesting character. I know that part of that comes from the facsimile, but a vast majority of it comes from you. And just the way that you've got this disdain for humanity while trying to emulate it, constantly fantastic. And thank you for coming up with and running with the wildest ideas. Who would have thought that the final die roll for both of our characters in this game is from a completely different game? An insane thought, and it's beautiful, and it's wacky, and I will miss seeing your antics. Mark, you've been incredible. I don't think I've ever role-played with someone that has the range in a single campaign that you've shown between a character that was quite literally a tour de force in It's My Way or You're Dead to a character that, as Amanda said, we wanted to love and wanted to win. You are an incredible role player, and I would love to play more games with you. That goes for everyone, but Mads, incredible. The side things, the little sub-stories within stories, the love triangle that you helped set up with Val, the returning characters in the Void, the choice of threats, everything told a beautiful, cohesive story. You are one of the greats and will continue to be in this game. As far as a wish, I've said it before, I will say it again. Mark, Kemuel's other masks, please and thank you.
Yeah, I co-sign everything that everybody has said. What an amazing end to a really amazing campaign. Mads, you made me care so much about all of these characters and so much about the way things played out. It was like so heartbreaking when Mary said, "I don't know if I'm actually real." And the way that you hit those echoes of it's always a choice, like multiple times throughout the session was amazing. I also thought it was a really fantastic balance, integrating all of the sci-fi stuff that we had sort of thrown at you in our answer the question really well, but still keeping it really horrific too. Like it still felt really scary. Jeremy, yeah, it was a pleasure to play with you. It was a pleasure to get to be a factotum to Daymond Gray. I loved seeing the Mr. Gray hulking out and that whole like cascading of masks, one into another. Like we got to see a little bit of the coven. That was so amazing. Amanda, I really loved the relationship between Treasure and Marybelle and the way that it changed over the course of the back half of the campaign. And I thought that vulnerable scene was a really nice cap to that. Rob, yeah, I can't imagine a better ending to everything that you'd established with Val throughout the campaign. And the notion of the vows has felt like kind of like a gun on the mantle, and to have it pay off so well at the end. That whole "my wishes do not come to it, I gave my word," or it was so amazing. So just like it has been a real privilege to get to play with all of you. You are all you're all so thoughtful and present in your role playing. I really feel like I've learned so much just getting to be in this campaign, and it's really been fantastic. So yeah, my wish would be to play with any or all of you again.
I was just saying, yeah, I've really loved playing with all of you and would love to play again. And I'm sure we probably will at some point. Yeah, specific stars, I don't know. Jeremy, I loved how like Daymond Gray did this wild berserker mode Hulk out thing when he's always been this kind of calm, cerebral presence, like he's always the one who has always felt like he has his finger on the pulse of what's going on and is kind of unflappable. And that reversal was really juicy. And yeah, Amanda, I love the idea of using the contest roll, and just like what a ridiculously perfect result that like neither of you died and Daymond had like masks to burn, so it was all good. And yeah, Treasure was like, I loved the moment when Treasure said, "Oh, I have to go back for them," and Val's single-mindedness was preventing them from doing it, but Treasure had that humanity that is necessary to do that. Yeah, Mad's great job with running everything and like bringing everything to such a great conclusion. I had a blast, and thanks for bringing me on this campaign, because I only joined at the last minute when somebody else had to drop out. So
I hate saying goodbye. Thanks to you all. I'm just going to make this real quick. But again, stars to you all. I could not have done this without you. I just want to say that this campaign is headed by the word clever, because goddamn, everybody had everything in their own wheelhouse, where like Jeremy with describing the magic, and Kemuel and Mark with Kemuel slash treasure, with the masks and the descriptions, and Amanda with being quirky with the facsimile, but yet still human, but not human, and just making them other and yet also again human when they needed to be opposite, and just like just showing us all the different facets of such. And then like Rob, you're making the Errant again, this very, very honorable, stoic knight with a strange power that they could somewhat use, but not necessarily control, and then still trying to deal with life with it. So odd, so strange, but then, just dealing with it and just, again, using their stoicism to just try to make, just trying to, live their way and then make their way through it. I mean, like this campaign has been like it's been such an eye opener because I mean, like, just trying out different things, and of course, like, with the rules being changed, like, while we're doing it, who the hell knows? I mean, like, just like throw things at the wall, see what sticks, right? It's like a lot of spaghetti walling, and I love the fact that it just didn't seem like the usual thing that we had done before. And it's probably not like it's going to be like when the final rules come out, so it's fine. I think you all told an incredible story, and you helped me, like, try out different things for the incredible story that I wanted to help tell. So thank you very much. These characters were amazing. Thank you all. I couldn't have done it without you. Goddamn. So very, very pleased with this, and I'm glad we got to do this. So a pleasure always to play with you. And Mark, you were a very welcome addition to the table. I've never played with you before, and I'm definitely would be glad to play with you again. So that's awesome. Yeah. So hopefully we all do get to play again together, whether between or something else. I don't care. You know, let's see what happens. But yeah, don't want to keep you much longer. It's been a long night, and again, it's been a long series. But you guys did such an amazing job. Thank you. Alrighty. Happy
Thank you.
gaming. Happy gaming for whatever
See
you
you
guys are
soon.
doing soon. Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Bye. God.